everyone, welcome to the channel or welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Tatum and today I will be doing my 2021 book wrap up. So this year I read 20 books, which my goal was 12, so definitely succeeded. My goal for 2022 is also going to be 12. I was going to increase it, but then I remembered I'm starting grad school next week, and I think that's going to take up a lot of my reading time. So 12 is my goal again. As you can see, I'm sitting here with my bookshelf. These are all books I have not read, so I'll be reading them in 2022. And I have my list of books that I read in 2021. So I'll be going over them in the order that I rated them. So first we'll go through the low starred ones all the way to 5 stars. So this year I did not have any 1-star books, probably because I would have read the summary and not picked a 1-star book, but I did read 2 2-star books. So my first 2-star book is Lucky, which I just finished. It was suggested by Reese's Book Club, and it's actually the most recent book I read. Honestly, not a fan. It was a pretty short read, and I think with a short read, you're expecting things to be happening all the time, and it really just wasn't. It kind of took me a while to get into the book, and by the time I was into it, it was over. So wasn't super excited about that. That was 2 stars. That one was about a girl who has a lottery ticket, a winning lottery ticket for millions of dollars, but if she turned in the ticket, she'd also go to jail for all of her crimes. My next 2-star book is The Paper Palace. This one was about a woman and went through, each chapter was bouncing back and forth between her past and present, and she, in her present, is married, has some kids, and is deciding if she wants to divorce her husband and be with her childhood love. I gave this 2 stars because it was a really long book and nothing happened. Like, from the start to the finish, absolutely nothing happened. So that's why I gave it 2 stars. Moving on to our 3-star books. These are not in any specific order. They're just all 3 stars, not saying that one 3-star is better than any other. So the first is Malibu Rising. I liked Malibu Rising, but it wasn't at the caliber of her other books. Like, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was my favorite read this year by far, and Malibu Rising just wasn't there. It was about this young woman who is getting a divorce from her husband because he cheated on her. It talks about her past and her relationship with her siblings, and then kind of all comes to a head at the end of the book when she's having a party. So it was fine. If you like Taylor Jenkins Reid, then read the book, but it wasn't anything crazy. My next 3-star is Pretty Things. It's about this couple who, they're really con artists. They pick people and they steal things from them, and the book is about their biggest con yet. I thought it was good, but it wasn't, you know, groundbreaking. The next 3-star is Swear on This Life. Honestly, I can't tell you what it was about. I know that I read it for my book club, and I think it was about a woman who might be getting a divorce or might not. I don't remember what happened, so I don't know what that tells you. My next 3-star book is Beach Read. It's about 2 authors who both write in different styles and basically challenge each other to write a book in the other person's style. So I thought it was pretty good. That is all for the 3-star category. Next, we're going to 4 stars, and my first 4-star book is Apples Never Fall by Liane Moriarty. I actually just read this, I think, last month, and I liked it. It's about a woman who goes missing, and you don't know if she's dead, if she's alive. The book takes you through the time when she's missing, but also goes through her past, and you learn about, you know, her relationship with her kids, her husband, and this random woman who just showed up in their lives. So I really liked that book. I definitely suggest it if you like a little bit of kind of mystery and thriller. I guess if you like mystery but not necessarily thriller, there's this mystery element because you don't know what's happening, but it's not like scary, spooky, I need to leave the lights on, if that makes sense. The next one I read, The Midnight Library. I read this one because a book club that I listened to, their podcast is called The Redheads, and they suggested it. My sister also read it, so I figured it'd be a good read. It was about this woman who decides to take her own life at the very beginning of the book. That's how it starts. And then she has the option in her afterlife to go try out all the other lives that she could have had if she made different decisions. So you get to see her through many different lives and kind of what would have happened. I really liked that one. Next, Then She Was Gone. I also read this for my book club. This one was definitely a thriller. It's about this young girl who goes missing, and you know while you're reading what happened to her, but like her family is trying to find her. And I won't give anything away, but honestly, creepy, but I liked it. So if you like reading thrillers, that was a good one. Next, Give Them Lala. This was an autobiography by Lala Kent. If you watch Vanderpump Rules or in the Bravo universe, I'd suggest reading it. I learned a lot about her life. I'm honestly just a huge fan of hers, and I thought it was really interesting, especially now with all the drama going on with her and her, I guess, ex-fiance, because they never got married, but not a good dude. Next, One of Us Is Lying. This was more of kind of a young adult read than an adult read. So if you're maybe more established of a reader, you wouldn't like this one. I liked it just because there was a huge element of kind of who done it. And I thought it was super, super interesting. It's about this classroom of students. They're all in detention and they're all leading very different lives, and one of the students dies. So you're, reading through the book trying to figure out who did it and all their connections to each other. Was it more than one of them? All of that. So that was really interesting. Next was, I think, the only nonfiction I read that wasn't a biography, The Defining Decade. I read it for a book club I'm a part of at work about diversity, inclusion, and belonging. So this book was all about how your 20s are really an important time in your life. Everyone says, oh, I'll get it together when I'm in my 30s, but really you have to set yourself up for success when you're in your 20s. And if you're not doing that by the time you're 30, you're gonna wish you had done more in your 20s. So I really enjoyed it. As someone who's 23 turning 24, I thought it was really important just to kind of feel like this time and the things I'm doing now matter for my later life. So I really enjoyed that one. If you're in your 20s, I definitely suggest. Moving into the 5 stars. So the first 5-star I have is The Last Mrs. Parrish. This woman decides that she wants to break up this marriage and become this guy's new wife. And so you kind of follow her along in how she tries to accomplish this, and she infiltrates their family, but things don't turn out exactly the way she wanted them to in the end. So that was a good book. Then Life's Too Short. This one was about a YouTuber who lives next door to a lawyer, and the book starts with her taking care of a baby that's not hers. She ends up taking care of the baby and getting closer to her neighbor. You can guess what happens there. Those are my kind of books, though. I love a predictable romance novel. Next was, I believe, my favorite book of the entire year that I read, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It was my choice for my book club. My sister suggested it to me. We had already read Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I did not like that book. I recapped it last year in my book review. But The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, you're going through the timeline of Evelyn Hugo's life with a reporter, book writer person. So that person goes through her entire life with her, and she really tells all and explains why she married each of these men and kind of what was going on in her life at those times. I read that book in 2 days. So fabulous. If you haven't read that book, I definitely recommend. Next, Twice Shy is about two people who are both left on the will for a house, 50-50, and then neither of them want to sell the house, living there and kind of what they decide to do with the house. Just a cute little romance. Next up, another autobiography, Girl with No Job. If you listen to The Morning Toast, then you would know about this book. It's written by Claudia Oshry, about her life and everything she's gone through up to this point and kind of how she became who she is as a podcaster. So I loved that book because I'm obsessed with everything The Morning Toast. So that was a great one. Next was The Nightingale. This one was about World War II and follows these two sisters, one of which is trying to take care of her children and just kind of wants to fly under the radar while the Germans are invading France, and she just kind of wants to follow the rules and do what she's told, whereas her sister is kind of known as rebellious and starts this underground way of saving the air pilots. So really, really interesting. A super long book. I didn't think I was gonna like it. It was for my book club, but I honestly loved it. I thought it was a great, great book. Next is Majesty, which is the second book in the American Royals series. I absolutely love this series. It's definitely more young adult. It's about what the United States would look like if we were a monarchy instead of having presidents. So I really like it. I think it's super interesting. It's not historical fiction at all, which is something I don't really like, except for The Nightingale, which I did like, but super, super fun read. And actually the third book in that series is coming out in 2022. And my final read, which obviously was not in any specific order, was Verity. I actually read this towards the beginning of the year. 5 stars. This book was twisted. Like, I still, to this day, and not for lack of memory, you don't know what happens once you're done reading it. Like, you are still so confused, so twisted. Like, every 5 minutes, I feel like something insane happened that you could not have predicted. Such an interesting book. I really, really suggest. Crazy, absolutely crazy. So that was all for my 2021 book review. Leave any comments down below. Did you read any of the books? Did you like them? Did you not? What are you reading in 2022? What's your 2022 reading goal? Just comment down below. Please make sure to like this video. It really helps my channel. Subscribe as well, and Happy New Year, everyone.